Hi, welcome to software testing tutorials. So in this video, we will discuss like what are the interview questions, like automation testing interview questions asked in Infosys company for the senior automation role. So most of the questions asked in January 2025, this is questions asked me, and I attended the interview for Infosys in January 2025, and those questions like I just prepared here, and you can try to understand the questions and try to listen like what I'm exactly giving, like how you have to explain your particular answer to the each question, so that interviewer can impress by your answer, and how you can crack this automation testing role interview in Infosys. So a lot of interviews are going on from November, December, and January. So let's get started. So first question is like a basic question. Explain about yourself, and next like what is your skill set. So explain about yourself means most of the time like everyone will start with the education. You can start with education. So why? Because they already know your name and where you are from. Or you can start with your experience. So and so company you are working, and what are the companies you worked, and what are the projects you worked, and what is your current company. And if you have any gap between your career, from education to first company, that you can also mention, no issue. And you can mention how many years you have experience in selenium automation testing, and from how many years you are working as a software tester, like a functional tester. If you have experience in API testing and ETL tester and database tester, those kind of thing you can mention in your about yourself. And you can mention in the current company which project you are working, and what is your roles and responsibilities, understanding the requirements as per the Jira stories, and owned end-to-end man functional testing, test scenarios preparation, test plan creation, and test cases creation, and test execution and defect reporting. And next one is reviewing the test cases and pre-review experience. We are following the Jira project management to maintain the all our test cases related, and user stories. And now coming to automation, we are automating the our automation test cases from the sprint 2 onwards. Why? Because in sprint every requirement is a new requirement. When the sprint 1 is completed, in sprint 2 you will start the execution. Once that execution is done, you can get the automation test cases for the sprint 2. So from sprint 3 onwards, you can do automation of sprint 2 as well as sprint 1, and those can be related to regression testing, smoke testing, and sanity. And for a code repository, we are using GitLab. So using GitLab, like we are pushing the code to the our repository. Next, you can mention like if you have a Jenkins experience, you can mention like we are using CI/CD pipeline to run our automation test cases as per the schedule in our remote machine, not in our local remote machine we are using. And if you have any experience in cloud running like browser stacks as source labs running the automation, those you can mention. And next one is if you have experience in giving the demos to the clients, and giving KT to the training the new joiners, just kind of a freshers who will join into our project, and you have a domain knowledge, those kind of thing detail you can mention. Coming to your skill set, how you can mean, what are the skills you have very confident and knowledge, those skill set only you have to mention, selenium, java, cucumber, bdd, testng, jenkins related, and API like postman. So if you have a experience in rest assured also you can mention, but you have not worked any other technology like catalan related, any cypress related, those if you don't have knowledge on that you should not mention. Only what are the knowledge and you are very confident to answer, only those technologies you can mention, that is your skill set. So next question they ask me explain your selenium automation project, like they told not each and every folder wise, just kind of like a overview, like high flow, like a overview, like a high level. Then you can explain like we are using a Selenium Cucumber BDD framework, which is a Maven framework. We have different folder structures where we are maintaining the utilities and step definitions packages, and we are using a page object model where we are adding all the different pages of web application to under like actions related packages where we are having all the elements in separate pages. Next, we are creating the actions in different packages for each and every as per the test steps, and we are adding those all the mandatory like actions which you want to perform via execution into step definition packages, and we are reading the test data from property file as well as Excel files, and we are mentioning the some of the static test data in a scenario outlines like in example we can mention. Next, when if you want to run the test cases for a particular scenario like feature file, we are using the tags. Those tags we are adding into test runner class. Once we start executing the test runner class like run as a JUnit, at that time step definitions will be read what are the mentioned in the feature file or scenario. In the before it will go to hook class, and under at the data before annotations first step definition step scenario will be read if the scenario is available in the Excel, and it will come into step definitions. Step definitions, each and every step definitions will be read from the step definition package which we have mentioned in the test runner class. That will be step definition is available or not. First it will read, once available, then it will come into that particular method and it will start executing the each and every code line. Once the execution is completed, like all the step definitions will be executed, and after that it will go to hook class. Under that, at the rate of after annotation method will call, and it will do respective operations like closing the driver operations and closing the database related anything, and generating the HTML reports. We are using extend report. Once execution is done, it will generate the HTML report, and as per our framework, it will send the email to the respective users. The test execution result will be sent to respective persons, and it will have the how many name test case are pass, how many test case are fail, and how many like what are the exception it will show. We will analyze the HTML report. If any exceptions occur, we will try to go through the test steps which is mentioned in the code, and we will try to modify if it is necessary. If XPath issues, we will verify manually. Anything, any dynamic element is updated, then we can update in our code. So in this way, you can explain your Selenium framework. If you are using not using any Cucumber BDD, if you are using keyword driven, you can explain keyword driven, and if you are using hybrid driven, you can explain those. So in that way, you can explain your project. So next question they ask immediately like once a project is done, they will try to find out like if you are mentioning the Java language, they can start asking like what is the difference between HashMap and HashTable, and they are mostly asking like where you have implemented in your framework. So they are asking like previously everyone say like these are the normal theoretical type of everyone is saying, but now they are asking like where you have implemented in your framework, so that based on that they will understand like whether you are really worked on this framework or not, like you have just read it online like what are the materials you read and attend the interview, so that what they're asking means not the theoretical part, they are asking mostly in a experience level like a practical part. So you can say the answer like the main difference between the HashMap and HashTable is HashMap is not synchronized, means not synchronized, and HashTable is synchronized. What is not synchronized means it is related to thread safe. I mean, not synchronized means when most of the time we are running our test cases in parallel, right? So if we have a 500 test cases, we are going to run our 500 test cases sequentially not possible. So in remote we are using Selenium grid we are using. So if I want to run all our test cases in what we call in parallel mode. So in parallel mode, if you are running, if driver is accessing one one session is created, if another session is created, this session will be blocked and it will show no session exit error. So that is not thread safe. So if you want to go for thread safe, you have to use synchronization for our methods. So HashMap is not synchronized. If you are using a HashMap, then not possible. So that's why parallel execution HashTable is synchronized. What happens with things synchronized means whenever the one thread is running, after completion of that thread, then only next thread will start. If multiple threads are running sequentially, then if you are using HashMap, then it is not possible to share the value from one method to another method. Means HashMap means it is a key value pair. You want to store one dynamic value into key and use that into any expected result to get that. If a multiple scenarios are running parallelly, then if it is not synchronized, then you will face error as thread will be blocked, session not exist, or like it is already duplicate, something kind of error you will get. So that is a use of like HashMap as table. So where you have used HashMap as table means we are using a map in reading the Excel data. So we are using the map in reading the Excel data. Why? Because Excel, I want to store the column and value with a key value pair. At the time, if I am running the first scenario, TC01, log into the web application. So where I am passing the username and password. That is coming from the Excel, TC01. So our Excel code, what it will do, first it will store the all our records into rows into column rows into hash map inside this hash map key value pair will be there based on the key that is a test case id scenario. If it is a scenario, if once we get the map dot get that scenario name column name, then you will get the scenario tc01. That tc01 is equal to our scenario outline like scenario term tc01. Once it is mapping, then only it will start reading the particular row, username, password, those kind of thing. So in that way, we in that scenario, we are using hash map. Next, coming to hash table. Hash table is a thread safe, right? So it is a synchronizable. Then what when we are using means we are using the hash table. We are storing the dynamic value into our framework. Suppose I have created the customer one unique ID, customer ID is generated. I am storing that customer ID into as table with a key. And next, that key value I want to use in another page where I want to validate that particular customer ID is inserted into different application or not. At that time, I will use as table.get that key name. So when we are running parallel test cases at that time it is a synchronized means a thread it will not overlap the threads then it will as per the scenario as per the thread respective value will be generated and it will validate successfully it will test cases will be passed. So in that way you can try to explain your as map and as table where you have used in a framework. Understood, right? So next question they are asking same question like what are the collection concept used in your framework and where implemented in your framework. So this is like a theoretical. We should not explain. Like you can say like collections. I've used list, set, and queue. I have not used. Only list and set I have used. So list where I have used means suppose I want to get the suppose example drop down values I want to get into list and I want to verify whether my expected value is present or not. Suppose the country drop down we are having 200 countries or 300 countries. So it is under div, not in a select option, not in a select class. It is in div under UL and LI. At that time, what I will do, I cannot select the your value. Example, United States of America or like India. It will depend on alphabets. So those I can't do drop down for using a JavaScript executor. Then what I will do, I will get that list using that list of web elements. There I am using list interface and get the number of values available in drop down, and I will do the for loop and find out my expected values present or not. Next one, set already like we are using for handling the get window handles and get window handles. In that case, in that methods, we are using a set interface, and they are asking like we already know like where you are using a set interface. Other than that, you can say answer like if you want to avoid the duplicates. Most of the set interface means it will avoid the duplicates values will not present, it will give the unique values. So you can say the example like scenarios if you have implemented anything like in my project like we are trying to identify like reading the data from the database. At that time I want to store the number of duplicate values into count. So at that time I am using set interface. When we store that values into set interface, I will get the unique values. So I don't want duplicate values. Why? Because insert and update having two values. I want to get only one value from the result set, like it will be stored under CSV file. That CSV file will be read it into set. Based on that, we will get the unique values. Like that, you can give any example. So next, they will ask like a Java program. So where Java program like different thing, anything they can ask, like it will be not sure like this question will be asked or anything, any program they will ask. Most of the time they are pressing on like asking arrays related compulsory they will ask. This is a mandatory. You have to go through the arrays as well as some collection concept you can go through. So here I this question asked me like write a Java program to print duplicate characters in a string. So like here you can use a set interface. I told you right, like duplicate. If you want to handle duplicates related, then you can use the set interface. And this one like I have created the YouTube shorts in my channel, like where I have created that particular program. So this is a short I just created. You can see here set interface, new asset, string builder. So you can go through this YouTube short. Okay, you can understand like this one. So like this, like those kind of thing I have added here. You can go through that code. You can understand very easily. Next, so after that, we have written the code, but they are asking the more question on like what is a functional interface on Java 8. So Java 8 concept also they are touching like most of the time we are using 1.8 version. So they are asking like what are the Java version you are using 1.8. Then he asks like what are the changes like what are the releases they happen in Java 8. So one of the question is what is a functional interface? Main what exactly it will contain. So then you can ask if you know the answer, you can say, or if you don't know the answer, you can directly say like I'm not sure on that. Like that, you can say that. If you are saying no, that should be very confident. Otherwise, like they will think like should not be have any doubt like whether it is a no, yes or no, then should be very confident. So what is a functional interface means? It is a interface which will have only one abstract method. Only one abstract method it will have, and which can have the default methods and static methods. So what is the purpose of this interface means which enables functional programming techniques in Java, so which will allow to lambda expressions. If you want to write lambda expressions, then you can go through the this functional interface in Java. That will help to run the lambda expressions, which will have the abstract method will have run abstract methods. So how we can use means we need to use a functional interface annotations. Okay, functional interface annotation we have to use for our particular interface. Then it will called as a functional interface. So that is related to Java 8 functional interface. Next, they jumped into our framework, like what are the framework you are explain, those kind of things. They jumped into it and they started asking questions like how you will run your test cases in parallel in your framework. Like they are asking a straightforward answer. Like I just explained, like in our Cucumber BDD framework, you can pass in pom.xml file under configuration. We can pass thread count is a, like in the tag you can pass to, and parallel is a test like that I pass. Then he asked like no, no, not that one, any other answer if you want to give you can give. Then like I thought like how they are asking me in our runner class also you can mention like if you are extending the abstract test and the cucumber test, then we can give the annotation as at the rate of data provider parallel equal to true. Then he asked like not, that is a not answer, like any other answer. Then I just think like what exactly he's asking, and he is like we have to like think like what if we are giving two answers which we are already available, but if we are asking any new answer, you can directly think about the TestNG framework. You can think about it and you can start thinking like then I explain like in our testng.xml file we can give parallel like a true or something methods we can give, and we can provide the and provide the class name or methods which you want to run. Then he told like yeah, that is the answer I am expecting. So what are the possible options you have, those you can try to provide like if you know the pom.xml file how to you can run, if you know the testng.xml file how you can run, those kind of thing you can try to provide the answer like before is coming back to you, just provide that these are the ways you can try to run. As well as in selenium grid also we can run, right? In selenium grid automatically you have to select like parallel equal to true in our property file, then selenium grid automatically it will handle and it will try to run. So next question he asked some tricky and basic question, how we will make sure step definitions are mapped correctly, what is the logic behind in Cucumber. These are the question he asked related to Cucumber. Then most of the time what we answer like step definitions means in our feature file scenario outline we are having step definitions. In our step definition package we are adding those step definition for the respective action methods. So everyone will think in that way, but he's asking like a logic like how Cucumber read the step definitions are available in that method or not. So at that time, what you have to think means just think like in our runner class, we are having test runner class, right, in Cucumber. So we are going to pass like a step definition package name we are passing. So under where under Cucumber options at the rate of under Cucumber options we are passing. There you can try to think like in which tag we are passing. Like it is a glue, right? In our glue we are passing a step definition package. That glue what it will do means it will read that package. Under that package if you are having multiple classes, 10 classes, 20 classes, it will go to each and every class and it will try to find out the step definition is available in that particular package, any class or not. If it is available it will start reading it and it will start executing. If it is not available it will show please implement this method at the rate of then or given, it will give you the suggestion in our console, right? Eclipse or IntelliJ console, it will give. So that is the answer. Like under test runner AWS glue, sorry, under glue in our Cucumber option, it will try to read the step definitions. Mapping is correctly mapped or not. And next one, how many ways we can read test data in Cucumber BDD. We can try to read like some people are using a property file and Excel. Next scenario outline under that example we are passing, right? Examples for scenario outline that we can say. And next one is a scenario also. Under scenario for each step definition directly we can mention our test data. So without example in scenario also we can execute. That scenario itself we are mentioning the our test data. That is a static one. Always it will be same. Next one is a scenario outline. In our example, multiple test data we can try to mention. For one scenario, we can try to mention number of test data under examples. Next one is we are using the data table. Using the data table in our Kumar, we are reading the test data. Right. Next one is Excel data. Excel we are passing through the Excel. We are reading that data. So those kind of answer you can provide. Next one is how you will run related to TestNG. He is asking about the TestNG. So how you will run like how you will run the single test method multiple times in TestNG. How you will run like in our TestNG. What we are mentioning all our test methods in at the rate of test annotations. We are mentioning right annotation one, test method one, a login for one method, and a verification for one method like that we are mentioning. So those mostly everyone will answer like we will use a data provider annotation. Data provider annotation means here question is like how you will run one single method multiple times, right? Multiple times how you will run. We can try to mention like in our at the rate of test method we already have, right? In that we already have, we want to mention that like I want to run those single method multiple times. So try to understand the question. It is not related to data provider. It is related to one single test method you want to run multiple times. So we should not use any data provider annotations. Why? Because data provider annotation, what it will do, it will try to read the data for one scenario, different combination of data it will read, right? A different combination of data it will read and pass it to the test methods. So how many methods? If you have one, two, three, it will pass by using data provider name equal to that data provider name. But the question is like a single test method only they want to run. So what it will do means we have a invocation count as a one parameter in our test engine. Invocation count. If you want to pass 5, that test method automatically it will run 5 times. If you want to run 10 times one test method, it will run 10 times. That test method will run 10 times. So that is the answer. So next, how do you handle dynamic elements in Selenium framework means what will do to handle like wait commands we can use. Next, we can in our XPath you can use like starts with method. This function you can use and contains function you can use. Okay, and any other methods you can use. Explicit wait you can try to use to find out the elements like that. So these are the possible ways I can try to use so that I can able to handle the dynamic elements in Selenium, any framework. Okay, those you can say. Next, have you worked on API testing? Then explain how you performed API testing. So these are the question they are asking compulsory. Selenium, API, as well as like Postman if you have anything they are asking. So API means we are having the API documentation that is a Swagger. So first we will get the documentation in Swagger. That Swagger documentation you have to read each and everything. You will get the URL, you will get the request, sample data you will get and sample response you will get. And developer will provide you the KT, how to use that any method, sorry, any tools you want to use, they can provide and they will give you the URLs and they will you can try to read and try to understand the Swagger documentation and we can start doing positive values. It should be given 200 success, 201 created. 201 created means if any other integration system is using those response and to pull the data in their response like that 404 not found, 401 unauthorized when you are not passing the passing the invalid authentication username password then you will get 401 unauthorized exception like that you have to explain negative values it will give the proper error messages if you are suppose example account number you want to pass invalid actually account number means it will accept only numbers but if you are giving entire alphabet then it should say account please provide valid account number past account number is invalid like that it will say so those kind of thing you have to explain and postman how you will do the testing what how you will do like in postman like we will add the URI and create the collections. Under that, I will give select the body as a JSON. If any authentication I want to pass, I can add bearer authentication or OAuth 2 authentication or cookies I want to use, cookies I will use. And after that, I will pass the data, valid, invalid data. And when we send that request, it will provide the response, valid or invalid. And I will do the data driven testing in Postman. How you can do, you can pass the CSV file or XML files by selecting the collections. We have to upload the file there and run the collections. It will run like that. You have to explain each and everything so that they will think like you have a good knowledge on APA, and those they will try to consider. Next, here they asked related to API automation, that is a rest assured. If you see the question, what is the output of below API post request? So it is a post request. You can see the string they have mentioned, and a response equal to rest assured dot given. Then post, they are posting the URI and body and extract and response. If you see the particular code, you can understand like it will give you the JSON object response, right? You can think like it will give the response, it's kind of a empty response, right? Empty response or anything it will give. He is asking like what are the response we will get. If you understand the question, if you see like body, they are not passing, it is body is empty. Here here body is empty. If the body is empty means what will happen, it will give the 404 not found error, or request body is missing, it will give you error as request body is missing. So that in that way you have to practice your rest assured API also. The automation you have to understand this particular code, you have to understand body is empty. Then if it is empty means manually you can try in API. You will get the response body is missing, or you will get the 404 not found, 400 bad request, those kind of thing. Those kind of thing error you can try to get. So these are the questions they asked mostly, and you can try to prepare like the way I explained. Try to prepare yourself and try to go through the different websites. They are giving very good explanations, and you can try to use AI technologies also, Chat GPT and Gemini and Copilot. Those you can use and try to gain the knowledge and try to crack the interview and try to like get the job. Like all the best for everyone. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any doubts, please provide your comments so that I will try to answer your all your questions. Thank you.